Fortnite's newest season just launched, and with it some massive changes to competitive, including a huge increase in the prize pool. This season's competitive prize pool is now $4 million, not including the $2 million land. So it is a massive increase. A lot of this money is also going to the different platforms. We now have console, mobile, and PC cash cups being split, each with their own prize pool. We also have reload cups being added to the game, and why I think we might even be getting a reload FNCS in the future. I also want to talk about why the FNCS pickaxe is going to the store and what the new best POIs are, because we have the land right around the corner. We now have 3 new mythics with 3 new medallions, and some of them are super broken. There's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. All right, let's kick off talking about the new tournaments. First off, our first tournaments of the season are going to be eval cups. We now have eval cups running on EU and NA, but it's a little bit different. EU, you have to be top 1,000 in the last FNCS to even be able to play. Same with NA, but for whatever reason, NA's eval cup is actually on the reload game mode, and EU is on regular battle royale. So they've said they want to use the eval cup as a way to test the meta, test the game, and make sure it's performing as well as possible. The best way to do this is have more stacked lobbies. So I get why they've made it top 1,000 from last FNCS. Obviously, that's going to cut a lot of people out of playing, which is a little bit upsetting, but I am confused about why they've got a battle royale eval cup and a reload eval cup. Now, they are putting over $1 million in prize pool into reload cups this season. I'll talk about all of the crazy reload cups we have, but that seems like we're gearing up for a really big reload tournament. Like, I'm not kidding. People have been talking about getting a zero build FNCS for years. I think it's more likely we're going to get a reload FNCS before zero builds, because they're giving it its own eval cup. So some people are going to be a little bit upset. Obviously, NA players are going to hope they had regular battle royale, and I'm sure there's some EU people who are going to be upset they didn't have reload. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is upset they don't have anything. But I think the eval cup should be really fun to watch this season. It should be really, really stacked, but I'm still so intrigued by the fact they're adding a reload eval cup. Before I talk about all the other cash cups, I do want to talk about the skin cups they're running a few days into the new season. I know you're thinking, Aussie, why are you talking about skin cups? It's because by doing well in these, you are getting the FNCS pickaxe. Now, I'm a huge fan of skin cups. I've talked about this a whole bunch. I love skin cups. I think they're awesome. They're a great way for people to get rewards who wouldn't otherwise normally get earnings. Great way for getting casuals into competitive, and they're just a bit of fun. But getting the FNCS pickaxe, the cosmetic that was previously only obtained by winning an FNCS, being the best player on your region, now having it be earnable in a skin cup feels a bit insulting. Now, a lot of people are really excited. The pickaxe is extremely clean, but I feel like that's a little bit weird. And don't worry, it gets even worse. You can also buy the pickaxe. The FNCS pickaxe is going to be coming to the store for anyone to buy. So you have nothing to show for winning an FNCS now. Now, we had the OG FNCS pickaxe, and I'll remind you, Fortnite thought the FNCS pickaxe was so rare, it was such a big deal, you would have it removed from your locker the season after you won. Once you won, you would have it until the next FNCS. As soon as they gave it to the next FNCS winner, it was removed from you. And now you can win it in a skin cup, or you can just buy it. So I'm a little bit confused why Epic's doing this. I really hope they maybe give a style or something to people who actually won the pickaxe, because I feel like it's a little bit mean. I know a lot of people want it. I know it's going to raise a bunch of money. I know it's a really clean pickaxe, but I do have to feel for the FNCS champions who now don't really have anything to show for it, except for the hundreds of thousands of dollars they earned. So I kind of get it, but maybe something just to give them something to hold on to. A style, that's all it would take. Let's look at the cash cups this season. Now, first off, we have solo victory cups. Nothing too crazy there, except for how many people now qualify for the finals. They're giving out so much more money in the victory cups now. In builds, you had EU only had 7,000 people qualifying. Now you have 15,000, over double. NA had 5,000, now 10,000. BR had 2,000, going up to 2,500. Middle East had 2,000, which is staying the same. And Asia and OC are actually dropping from 2,000 to 1,500. And if you feel bad for the OC guys, it gets so much worse. If you look at the Fortnite zero build solo victory cups, again, NA going from 5,000 down to 2,500, EU going from 7,000 down to 3,000, but OCE is going from 2,000 down to 600. So Fortnite is taking a lot of the prize pool out of zero builds and giving it to builds. This is obviously going to upset a lot of people, but like I talked about earlier in the video, people have been asking for a zero build FNCS for so long now. It looks like Fortnite is going the complete opposite direction. It looks like competitive zero builds is being dialed down a lot, with that prize money going to builds and now reload. So if you are a competitive zero build player, it looks like it might be time to go back to regular builds, or maybe try your luck market reload because it's not looking good for the future of zero build competitive. All right, let's talk about the new cash cups. And the biggest new one is platform cash cups are coming back. That means mobile, console, and PC are 3 separate tournaments now, and it's going to be a reload tournament. But in case you guys thought it was going to be a free cash grab on mobile, you're going to come top 500 and walk away with money. No, because they are set lobbies. Only the top 20 duos are going to qualify out of all 3 of them. So you're going to have to be a top 20 duo if you want to earn in the new platform reload cup. So it's interesting they're putting such a big emphasis on these cups, even giving them their own eval, but they're not really giving them a massive prize pool compared to the regular duo cash cups. It's cool to see they're splitting up PC, mobile, and console. That will make a lot of people happy. It'll give people an even playing ground to play on, especially if you want to avoid cheaters. If you're a controller player, you want to avoid the cheaters, just jump on console. It's gonna be a lot better over there. So I'm excited to see how that plays out, but I am a little bit confused why they didn't make that a little bit wider of margins to earn. I always talk about the main reason why they put on console cups, or should put on console cups, is to give people a chance to earn who maybe otherwise wouldn't. Giving it to the top 20 teams seems to go against that, but it should still be fun to watch. I'm excited to see how they play out. We do have the regular duo cash cups returning again this season with a big addition, at least for EU and NA. If you win the duo cash cup on EU or NA, you're going to walk away with $10,000. That's almost as much as winning an FNCS on OCE. That is a massive prize pool, but again, it only goes to first. The rest of the prize pool for the duo cash cups looks pretty standard. So it's going to put a lot of emphasis on the win. It's going to make them a lot more exciting to watch, which I am very excited for, especially in a season that has no FNCS. Probably waiting for that in the video. Unfortunately, I did talk about it. I've been talking about it for weeks now. It looks like we're going to have no FNCS. We're just going to have the LAN event, but the LAN event should be super exciting, but we only have 1 duo cash cup before the LAN event. There is not a lot of time for these pros to figure out where they're dropping and what they're doing coming into the biggest tournament of the year. I will talk a little bit about the changes in the map and the new drop spots and which ones I think are the strongest, but I'm interested to see with that duo cash cup whether it does make them way more competitive. Everyone trying to get first for that $10,000 could make it a lot more exciting. Just to add even more fuel to my theory that we're going to get some kind of reload FNCS or something like that, Fortnite actually turned the regular squad victory build cups into reload. So we've now got reload squad victory cups, which I think are going to be insanely stacked. If you've ever watched really stacked reload games play out because of the reload feature not being able to die in the early game, it really does make them super stacked coming into endgame. Now you combine that with the fact that it's now squads and it is going to be super stacked and really insane. I'm excited to watch these. I wasn't the biggest fan of the regular squad build victory cups. I felt like squads is just a little bit too chaotic these days. I feel like everyone's progressed so far as competitive players that it does make it a little bit boring to watch. I'm going to be honest. Squads is my least favorite game mode. So shaking it up, switching it up to reloads has me a lot more excited than the regular squad build victory cups. I was speaking a little bit earlier about cheaters, and they have become a big issue in Fortnite. It looks like Fortnite is making a big step in the right direction to stop this. You now need an account level of 350 just to play in tournaments. That's not season level. Don't panic. You're not going to have to get to level 350 just to play the first cash cup. But if you want to play in cash prize tournaments, you're going to need an account level of 350. That means across all of the seasons you've played, you need to have a total level of 350. And I personally think this is a great change. It's going to upset some people, but let's be real. If you're playing in a tournament for money and you think you have any chance of making money or doing well or taking it seriously, you probably should be level 350 in the history of all of Fortnite. The only reason why you wouldn't is usually because you're on a new account, and if someone's on a new account, usually a bit of a sketchy sign they've done something to get banned, or there's a reason they're on a new account. So it's obviously not going to completely get rid of cheaters, but it is going to make it more expensive or more difficult for cheaters to continue to cheat after they get banned. You can't just buy a brand new like level 15 account now. It's going to be a lot more expensive, and hopefully that will cut down on the cheaters. Now, I talked about the platform reload cash cups, but that's all I really talked about for console, as big as that is. We do have the Cypher PK PlayStation Cup. This means you have a chance to earn the skin, the Cypher PK bundle, and you also play for a share of $250,000, but of course, you have to be on PlayStation. So it is a little bit sad to see that, again, Xbox not really getting too much love here. There is no Champions Console Cup from what I can see this season. They've just completely scrapped console competitive outside of PlayStation having their own tournament and these platform cups. So if you're a console player, and even if you're not in the top 20 best console teams on your entire region and you don't play on a PlayStation, currently have no chance at earning this season, which I know is going to upset a lot of people. So I feel like console gang, you have the platform cup, that should be really fun to grind. At least you'll be going up against other console players, which should make it a more fair, even playing field to do better in practice. But if you did have any hopes of getting more earnings this season, it looks like it might be tougher than what people originally thought when they announced platform cups. There are a couple other changes I wanted to talk about. The fact that we are testing reload solos, which could be really, really interesting, especially for these tournaments going forward. I've been asking for a solo FNCS for a while. I'm now the one saying we might have a reload FNCS. It could be kind of crazy, it could be kind of goofy, but it could be interesting to see how Epic plays that out. We know one of the biggest issues they have with solos is all the teaming and drop splitting. If it's reload, that's going to be a lot more awkward and a lot less likely. So again, you're probably wondering, how does reload solos work? The whole point is if your teammate's alive, it reses you. Call of Duty's done something similar like this, where there's just timers where you basically can't die until you get to those timers. So it should be cool to see how this plays out. I'm quite intrigued to see how it goes. Also, they made some changes to the Duo Cash Cup Opens format. It's only one point per elim now, so it looks like on top of the eval cups being super placement heavy, they're now making the regular Duo Cash Cup also super placement heavy. Now, I haven't really talked about anything to do with the new season as far as the guns goes, the POIs, the maps. If you guys are new to my channel, the way I always do this is I do this first video talking about everything in the competitive blog post, because we know how it's going to work, and then I usually wait at least a day or two to try out the new season, enjoy it, figure out what's going on, and then make a video giving my thoughts on the season itself. But what I do want to talk about really quickly are the 3 new POIs and the mythics and weapons you get there, because coming into the LAN, these are going to be very, very, very sought after. So we have 3 new POIs. We have the mythic burst AR and a medallion that reveals players around you at the raft. So the raft is the new POI that's over near Pleasant. It looks super OP. So mythic burst, and you're going to have a constant running flare around you. You know when you shot the flare at players and it revealed where they were and you could see them through walls? It looks like it's a medallion that's going to have that going constantly with the mythic burst. And I will mention, we have no DMRs in competitive this season, so it looks like the best way to get Surge is going to be the burst rifles. So giving the mythic along with one of the best medallions is going to be extremely strong. I'm expecting teams like Peterbot to try to lock down that POI, but the other POIs are super strong as well. We have the mythic pistol, which looks a little bit weird to me. It's only 7 shots in the pistol, but it shoots quite fast and does a lot of damage. It's not like a Deagle, and it's not like a Mammoth pistol. I don't really know how it's going to play on the meta, but you can also get a Siphon medallion at this same POI, and this is going to drop from Doom Castle. So again, the pistol probably not too strong, but Siphon medallion will be quite nice. I do actually think this is probably the weakest of the 3 medallions. I know you're thinking, Aussie, you're crazy. Siphon's strong. It's just not that good in high level competitive duos. If both of you got Siphon, you and your duo, it would be a lot stronger, but only giving it to one player, it's not really that valuable. And we saw that during Underworld, when Underworld had the Siphon medallion, and it really wasn't that big of a deal in duos. It will be a very big deal in solos though, so solo victory cups could get quite stacked with that. Now, last but not least, the new POI Doom stat, you are going to get the mythic shotgun and an invisibility medallion. That sounds super OP. It looks like you're only going to get the invisibility while crouching. Depending on how invisible this makes you, could depend whether it's worthless or super strong. If it's like any of the other invisibility items we've had, it's probably going to be pretty terrible. But if it works well and you can kind of crouch on someone's loot path or hide in a box, bait someone out and get a big pump shot, that could be really cool. But the mythic shotgun does look extremely strong. It looks like we are going to have a Gatekeeper meta again. Gatekeeper is still in the game. It's still extremely strong, but this new shotgun shoots only slightly slower than it and does over 180 headshot damage at max rarity. So that's a really fast, really hard-hitting shotgun, and the mythic version does drop at Doom stats. I'm interested to see which teams try to lock down that POI, but again, I don't want to give my thoughts on the entire season. I haven't even jumped in and played it yet. I'm just making this video before the downtime ends to keep you guys up to date on competitive. If you want to swing by and get my thoughts on the season though, I'll be live a whole bunch over the next few days on my Twitch, twitch.tv/AussieAntics.